As we begin this broadcast with some breaking news coming in from the US, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in fact dialing back concerns now that the US plans to run Venezuela's day-to-day operations. Now, this comes after US President Donald Trump said Washington would run the country, which is Venezuela, following the removal of Nicolas Maduro. Now, Rubio has clarified the message. And what has he said? Well, he said that the US will not govern Venezuela. Instead, it will continue enforcing an oil quarantine, which is already in place. Now, this quarantine targets sanctioned oil tankers and also gives the US or Washington leverage without direct control of the government over in Caracas. Now, Rubio has said that the goal is pressure and not total occupation of Venezuela. Meanwhile, pressure to reform Venezuela's oil industry and stop drug trafficking, according to Marco Rubio. Now, the comments appear aimed at calming fears of another long foreign intervention, the likes of which we have already seen play out in Iraq and more recently, in fact, in Afghanistan. Listen in.
We expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes. But the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States. What we are focused on right now is all of the problems we had with when Maduro was there. We still have those problems in terms of them needing to be addressed. We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things until the things we need to see addressed are addressed.
Stay with Washington, where President Donald Trump is now issuing a new warning to Venezuela's leadership. In an interview with The Atlantic, Trump has said interim leader Delcy Rodriguez could face even harsher consequences than ousted President Nicolas Maduro. Now, Trump's made the comments as he arrived at his Florida golf club on Sunday. He said, and I quote here, Rodriguez must do what's right or face a very big price. Now, just a day earlier, viewers, Trump had also praised Rodriguez after US forces seized Maduro and his wife in Caracas. However, Rodriguez later said Venezuela would defend its natural resources, prompting the warning from Trump. His latest warning at that. Now, Trump has defended the US action as well, saying and underlining that regime change was better than leaving Venezuela as it was. Not only this, he also added that American intervention elsewhere is still possible, essentially also saying that, again, that the US needs Greenland. Now, these remarks rather signal a tough and an unpredictable Washington stance moving forward. Now, viewers, it's been 2 days since the US triggered regime change in Venezuela, with the world divided still over Washington's actions. While countries like Israel and France on one hand have backed the US, superpowers like China and Russia have condemned Washington's actions. Meanwhile, satellite imagery shows before and after US strikes right there on your screens right now at the Fuerte Tijuana. Now, these images show an overview, viewers, of the military complex, showcasing buildings and equipment alike prior to strike damage. Now, Donald Trump, meanwhile, in an interview to US media, has issued a stern warning to the Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, as I was just mentioning, saying and in fact underlining that she has to do what is right, else she will have to pay a bigger price than that even paid by Maduro. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance, meanwhile, has hailed Donald Trump for making the U.S. a superpower again, while also justifying America's actions, claiming that Venezuela had become the profit center of Latin American cartels, drug cartels at that. Now, meanwhile, the Venezuelan army have backed the vice president to succeed Maduro, calling out Washington for killing innocent civilians, including members of Maduro's security team. Meanwhile, we've got breaking news coming in from Venezuela, where the defense minister has said that the world must be on guard. Rather, a cautionary statement coming out of Caracas. He's also underlined that it is Venezuela today, might be any other country tomorrow. Remember, this comes amidst Eastern powers like China, which has come out and openly condemned America's actions, claiming that they are against international laws and such regime changes are straight up illegal. For our viewers just joining in, Venezuela's defense minister has cautioned, saying that the world must now be on guard. It is Venezuela today, might be any other country tomorrow. Listen in.
El mundo ponga sus bardas en remojo, porque esto representa severamente una amenaza contra el orden global. Si hoy fue contra Venezuela, mañana puede ser contra cualquier estado, contra cualquier país. Llamo al pueblo de Venezuela a la paz, al orden, a no caer en las tentaciones de la guerra psicológica, de la amenaza, del miedo que nos quieren imponer. Llamo al pueblo de Venezuela a que retome sus actividades económicas, laborales, de todo tipo, educativas en los próximos días. Nosotros desde aquí, desde la Fuerza Armada Nacional Bolivariana, exigimos la rápida liberación del presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela. Exigimos su liberación. Está secuestrado el presidente Nicolas Maduro y la primera dama de la República, la doctora Cilia Flores de Maduro. Así que la patria continúa su destino de desarrollo, de prosperidad y de estabilidad y orden. Y nosotros, soldados y soldadas de la patria, estaremos aquí para garantizarlo. Y demás integrantes, pues, del alto mando militar de la República, que como pueden ver, está hoy unido, cohesionado ante la agresión imperial que se ha perpetuado el día de ayer, 3 de enero.
Well, that was the Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Pedrino Lopez, clearly underlining and rather cautioning the world that it is Venezuela today, might be any other country tomorrow. Meanwhile, here's a ground report from capital Caracas.
Government supporters went to the streets to demonstrate, demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores. The government supporters says that the U.S. took an illegal actions inside of Venezuelan soil, and they are claiming that those actions should be prosecuted in international institutions. They are saying that they will continue in the streets until Nicolas Maduro is released. For now, Delcy Rodriguez, which was the former vice president of Venezuela, was proclaimed as the president in charge of the country by the Supreme Court. And also, the Electoral Board and other institutions are backing Delcy Rodriguez as the new president of the country. These are institutions that mostly are controlled by loyals to Nicolas Maduro. So that is why most people are seeing in the country that this is a continuity, despite the words of President Donald Trump that said he will run the country. They say that is not true, that loyals to Nicolas Maduro are in front of this and they are taking the decisions. In Caracas, in the streets, there is silence because many people have decided to stay at home. Some others went to supermarkets and pharmacies to buy food and medicines in case something happens in the coming days, because there was a shock, the operation taken by the U.S. so suddenly. And also, most people decided to stay at home as much as possible. So the government supporters mostly went to the streets on Sunday. Also, we need to say that on Monday, the parliament will be swearing in the new fraction of the parliament with new lawmakers. These lawmakers are backing Delcy Rodriguez because this is one of the biggest institutions controlled by the government. And of course, it is expected that she appear on that institution on Monday. We need to say that also the airport is resuming operations. Domestic flights are working in the country. Also, borders are open to show a little of normality amid this uncertainty that has caused the operation taken by the U.S. Also, there's another situation in Venezuela, and that is that all the institutions are making statements saying that they reject all this operation taken by the U.S., but despite that, they will continue working as normal, resuming their activities, basically. So this is a country that, amid this situation, is trying to keep going, keep working, and on Monday, it began many activities, opening brick and mortar stores that have been closed over the Saturday and Sunday. And also, it is expected that many people went to the street to work as usual after the New Year's Eve break that they had over the weekend.